Hello you guys, this is Kim and bienvenidos to a timeless reading in which we are going to find out what is next in your immediate future. So for this reading, I will be working with tarot, oracle, and homemade divination tools to find out more about your immediate future. All the decks I will be working with in this reading will be listed down in the description box down below in case you are interested in looking them up. Okay, but let us get started. So before I present to you your options, I will ask of you to please take a moment to think of a number from 1 to 10. Whatever number comes up first in your mind is the number I want you to keep in mind. Okay, now that you have your number, cast your gaze upon the options to see in what group your number falls in. So for group 1, we have the numbers from 1 to 3. So if you chose a number from 1 to 3, then group 1 will be the reading for you. For group 2, we have numbers 4 to 7. So if you chose a number from 4 to 7, then group 2 will be the reading for you. And lastly, for group 3, we have numbers 8 to 10. So if you chose a number from 8 to 10, then group 3 will be the reading for you. And do keep your number in mind because it will be brought up in the reading. But now that you have your number in mind and have chosen your group, please head on over to the comment section and or the description box down below where the timestamp for each group will be provided so that you can skip right onto your reading. Okay, but if you're ready, let's get right into your messages. Let's go! Hello you guys who chose group 1 or any number from 1 to 3. Bienvenidos to your reading. So when connecting with the energy of this group, the only image that came to mind was that of a hairball. And this made me think of gunk and or muck, of stagnant energy. So if currently you have been experiencing stagnancy in your life or you yourself have felt stagnant, I do feel that you are in the process of getting things flowing again and or getting back into your flow. I especially feel that when it comes to your energy field, any gunk or muck or any energy that is not of you is being cleansed and or cleared out. I do get this overall feeling from this group of renewal. So for a lot of you, it could be that at this moment, you might feel this need to bring about certain changes in your life, or you are craving changes or new beginnings. And the message that just came to mind was wanting to get back into the game. So it could even be that for a lot of you, what is next is you reconnecting, like for example, with an old passion or an old hobby of yours, or resuming something that you were doing in the past. Like for example, if you used to play the guitar, this would be picking up your old guitar and getting back into practicing playing the guitar. Or this could be about resuming an old project that you started a while back, but for whatever reason you left midway. And for others of you, this could be in a more general sense where maybe you've felt for a while now that you've kind of left your life on hold or left an area of your life on hold. And now you are wanting to resume your life or get back in touch with this area of life that's been put on hold or been put on the sideline. But I do feel overall for this group, what is next in your immediate future is you in a way getting your spark back, getting reconnected with, as mentioned, a passion, or more specifically with your inner fire. I even get this feeling from some that this could be about getting back out on the dating scene or embracing your singlehood, because I do get the feeling that for some who chose this group, you have either recently come out of a relationship, or for a while now, you have been trying to move on from a previous relationship or heal from a breakup or a heartbreak, a heartache. And what is next is you kind of in a way coming out of that healing phase or having healed from that heartache, from that breakup, you having moved on from this previous relationship and or person. Yeah, so if this resonates with you, what is next for you in your immediate future is you moving your attention and your focus away from this previous relationship and or person and onto you, onto your life, onto getting to know yourself, onto reconnecting with old passions or discovering new passions of yours, onto bringing back joy, excitement, and the word youthfulness came to mind. So youthfulness back into your life. Oh, and by the way, the song Bejeweled by Taylor Swift could be of significance because the line I miss sparkling did come to mind. So if you have not yet listened to that song and you feel called to do so or read through the lyrics, I do recommend it because there could be a message in that song for you. Or this could be a confirmation for some if your favorite artist, musician, songwriter, performer is Taylor Swift. And or it could also be for some that in your immediate future you will be attending a Taylor Swift concert. Yeah, but you guys did intuitively choose a number from 1 to 3. So it could be that you are a life path number 1, 2, or 3. Or you could have been born on the month January, February, or March, or on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of a month. And again, if that happens to be the case, then this here is serving as confirmation that this is definitely your group. But for those of you who intuitively chose the number 1, for you in specific, I feel that your immediate future will be about new beginnings and breakthroughs. Yeah, so you could be starting something new in your immediate future, or something that you have been working on that maybe has not reaped much result or you haven't seen much progress when it comes to it, will be experiencing a major breakthrough in the immediate future. And for those of you who chose the number 2, I feel that what is next for you is balance. Finding balance and equilibrium in your life. It could also be a time of focusing on your relationships, like nourishing and nurturing current established relationships, or simply about noticing how it is that you connect with people. But for some, it could also be that a significant partnership, relationship, or connection will be highlighted in your immediate future, will be a main focus. And for those of you who chose the number 3, the number 3 is a number of expansion and growth as well as creativity. So I do see you guys in specific connecting more with your creative energy. So being more creative, feeling inspired and motivated to create and or to build, because I do see you wanting to grow, wanting to expand, or wanting to grow something that you are currently working on. Like, for example, if you have a business, this would be you feeling motivated and inspired to grow and or expand your business, or getting ideas as to how to grow and expand your business. And for others of you, this could be a time in which you will be feeling inspired to learn something new, or to expand your knowledge about something, or to improve a skill that you already possess. Okay, but now let us get into the cards. Oh, so 2 cards fell out. Oh, and we have the 6 of Cups and the Ace of Cups. This is such a nice energy. So both of these are associated with the element of water. This may be indicating that some of you could be a water sign, sun, moon, or rising, or have water predominant in your chart. So water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and or Pisces. But if not, that is totally fine. This could simply be indicating that what is next for you is a time of renewal, because water does make me think of cleansing, which we did mention at the beginning, how you are currently in the process of clearing and cleansing your energy field of anything and everything that is not of you. Yeah, and we do have this energy of spring with the Six of Cups. And the season spring is all about rebirth and renewal. So you are entering into a new era. And we do have baby chicks here. So this also makes me think of youthfulness, childlike wonder, of starting anew. Starting fresh. Yeah, so a lot of you could be starting again, starting something again, or starting all over. Like, for example, starting your life all over, or starting an area of your life all over. But we also have the Magician, which is in the tarot the number 1 card. So we do have 2 ones here, the Ace and with the Magician. And the number 1 is all about new beginnings and breakthroughs as well. So what is next for you is a new beginning. And the Ace of Cups does specifically talk about a new beginning in love, in relationships, in romance. And yeah, I did mention how relationships will be an important theme in the immediate future for some, and that is confirmed with the Six of Cups, because the Six of Cups can speak about important soul connections and or past relationships as well, and or connecting with people that feel familiar. And these 2 cards do ultimately speak about joy and happiness. So I do see joy and happiness being the main sentiment and or feeling in your immediate future. I do feel like what is next for you is you reconnecting with your childlike wonder, with your playful side, with your innocence. I also get this feeling with the Ace of Cups of you feeling more connected with your inner being, with yourself, because the Ace of Cups can also speak about self-love. And the message that just came to mind was reconnecting with life. So the Ace of Cups is about feeling fulfilled, feeling emotionally, and with this white dove here, spiritually fulfilled. So I do see you finding the joy in life once again, or reconnecting with your inner joy, getting your spark back as mentioned previously. And for a lot of you, what is next is you reconnecting with the spiritual practice of yours, if you do have any, and or reconnecting with your spirituality or your spiritual side. But because the Ace of Cups speaks about new beginnings, for a lot of you, what is next is you, for the very first time, getting acquainted with spirituality or connecting with spirit, with your inner being. The phrase that came to mind was spiritual quest, so it could be that some of you guys will be, for the very first time, going on a spiritual quest or starting your spiritual journey, because we do have the Magician here. Yeah, some of you could also be, for the very first time, tapping into your spiritual psychic abilities. You could be getting into concepts such as the law of attraction, the law of assumption, manifesting, and so forth, and learning more about it, possibly even putting it into practice or starting a practice of your own. Yeah, because I do get this feeling of awakening with the Ace of Cups, especially with this white dove. So for a lot of you, new spiritual abilities will be awakening. Yeah, so if you feel that you already have a sense of what your spiritual or psychic abilities are, I feel that in your immediate future, you will see that all this time you were just getting a little taste of your psychic and or spiritual abilities, because I feel like you haven't yet felt or experienced the fullness of your psychic or spiritual abilities. Yeah, especially with this Magician card. I feel like you guys are super, super powerful, very intuitive with the Ace of Cups as well. You could also be quite the empath, very sensitive to energy. Yeah, so I did mention that for those of you who chose the number 3, what is next for you could be a time of you wanting to grow and expand on something. And for some, this could be like wanting to tap more into your spiritual psychic abilities, because the magician does speak about skill. The magician is a jack of all trades. The magician is excellent at their craft because they have put in the practice. Yeah, so I do see some of you guys picking up a practice or resuming a practice and getting a bit serious about it. Serious because I see you being passionate about it. That's what I get with the Ace of Cups and the Magician. You are feeling fulfilled by what it is that you are investing time and energy into. You feel connected to it. You feel inspired by it. Yeah, because the Six of Cups can also speak about feeling this strong connection, a soul connection, an emotional connection to something or someone. And with the Magician, this card represents leadership, assertiveness. It speaks about a creator, someone who is a go-getter, someone who doesn't wait on the sidelines as life just happens. They take an active role in their life. So what is next for you is you being an active participant of your own life, you calling the shots in a way. Yeah, I just see someone going for it, like being involved in their life. I especially get that with the Six of Cups. It's like someone who wants to be a part of life. The word life keeps coming through. Yeah, I just keep getting this strong feeling of someone who wants to go out there, go into the world and live. So with the Magician being here, this isn't an energy of someone who is waiting for life to happen to them or for them. They are instead going out there and making life happen. So that's the energy I see you being in. And you getting much fulfillment from that, from being an active participant in your own life. With the Magician here, because I did mention this is a creator energy, I do see a lot of you guys creating something new or just creating. It could be that you will be invested in a project, a passion project, or a craft. But for a lot of you, it doesn't have to be one single project that you will be focusing on. It could be like many little projects that you are doing here and there. And with the Ace of Cups, I do feel like what is next for you is this longing and yearning to do something that you feel to be meaningful, something that is of value to you and you feel is of value to others, something that is emotionally fulfilling to you. I feel like you're not settling for anything less than. Whatever it is that you're choosing to focus on has to be something that emotionally fulfills you, that you feel passionate about, that means something to you. Yeah, so for a lot of you, this could be indicating that in your immediate future, what you can expect is you actually finding something that you're passionate about, if you feel like you haven't yet found that something. And for a lot of you, as mentioned, this could be about getting your spark back, right? So if you feel like you've lost the passion for your work, for example, for your profession, for your career, I did mention renewal. So this could be about you reigniting that passion. Yeah, because I feel like for a lot of you, what you have been experiencing has been this kind of slump, or you could have been experiencing some creative blockages. And so what is happening in your immediate future is that those creative blockages, they are being removed, or they will be removed. And that will allow for the creative juices to start flowing again. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel it will be different for each one of you, but I feel like there was something, or there is something that is kind of inhibiting you. It feels like a stopper, like there is a stopper that is keeping your creative juices from flowing, or keeping your inspiration locked down, keeping your excitement, your joy, your enthusiasm for life, or for your career, or for even yourself, kind of locked down. And once this stopper is removed, then like all this joy, excitement, enthusiasm, passion just spills out and overflows, because the Ace of Cups speaks about overflowing with love, overflowing with gratitude, overflowing with fulfillment. Yeah, so that stopper could be the hairball, the hairball I saw in my mind's eye right when I was tapping into this group's energy. And I feel like whatever that hairball or stopper is, it is something that is not of you. Like an energy that you picked up on, or it could be like a limited belief. Yeah, for some, I even feel like this could be like someone else's emotions that you were holding on to. And it's coming through very specific that this stopper, this hairball, could have been something, like something very specific someone said. Or it could have been like a specific experience that you were holding on to. Because, like I said, I feel like whatever this is, it's something that is not of you. So it's like, it almost feels like something that you swallowed, that you weren't able to digest because your body saw it as something intrusive, like something that just didn't belong, and it wanted to cough it right back up, just like a hairball. So yeah, it could have been something that someone told you that you knew, your soul knew was not true. And so all this time, you were having a difficult time processing it because it wasn't something that you were meant to process. But maybe you were holding on to it for some reason. Maybe there was a part of you that thought it was true when in reality it wasn't true. This could even be something like you were forcing for something to be. Maybe you thought something was meant to be, and so you were holding on to it, hoping for it to be, but in reality a part of you knew that this wasn't for you, that this wasn't in alignment with you. Yeah, so this could be a situation in which you were like settling for less, and a part of you knew that wasn't right, that you could do better. This could even be something like you were feeding yourself lies to keep yourself playing small. Or someone or something external from you was feeding you lies to keep you playing small. And now you're releasing those lies. You're no longer paying attention to them. You're not letting them hold you back. And this is you like kind of coming out. Coming out as a magician that you've always been. Embracing all of who you are. And I did mention how some of you could have been recently healing a heartache, a heartbreak, or working to let go or move on from an old relationship. And it could have been this old relationship or the idea of someone that you were holding on to that was keeping you from really embracing all of who you are, or reaching all of your potential, is the feeling I'm getting with the magician. This could even be, if it's not a relationship, this could even be like a dream. Maybe something that you thought was meant to be, like an expectation that you were holding on to. That was the thing that was holding you back. Yeah, because I get this feeling of settling. Like it's this feeling of you trying to force yourself to fit into a pot that was too small for you. And all this time, your very being was trying to help you see that you needed something bigger, something to hold all of who you are, because what you were aiming for was too small for you. Yeah, so this could also be about like a dream, a goal, an aspiration, maybe an environment, maybe something very specific that you were focusing on that was just not the right fit for you. But now I want to pull out a card to see what is the energy that is leaving. So we have Sagittarius with free-spirited, adventurous, optimistic, fun-loving, and joyous. So some of you could be a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or have Sagittarius somewhere in your chart. If you do have Sagittarius somewhere else in your chart, I do recommend for you to kind of take a look at where it is that you have Sagittarius in your chart, because I feel like that area of life will experience the most changes in your immediate future. But it could also be that someone who is a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or who embodies the Sagittarius-like energy, could be a person that will be exiting your life or has recently exited your life. And if so, this is the energy that is now leaving. Because sometimes a person can exit our lives, but their energy can still linger around us. So yeah, if it is the case that someone has recently exited your life, but you've been having difficulty moving on from this person or letting them go, the reason why that is could be because this person's energy was still lingering around you. And it could be this person's energy that you were holding on to that was holding you back. So what you can expect in your immediate future is for this person's energy to have left your energy field, like it being no longer around you. And that is what is freeing you. Yeah, so in other words, for those of you who have been working to move on from someone, what is next for you is you having moved on from this person. Like you no longer longing for or pining over this person or the idea of this person or relationship. Yeah, and I forgot to read the rest of the key terms here, but we also have flighty, blunt, blatantly honest, and ruthless. Yeah, it could also be for others of you that someone who had a not so positive effect on you or had a negative influence on you will be exiting your life or will no longer have such an influence on you. Yeah, because the Magician is making me think of reclaiming your energy, of empowerment, feeling self-empowered, like standing your ground, having boundaries, knowing how to implement your boundaries. Yeah, because with blunt and blatantly honest, I feel like, again, Taylor Swift is coming to mind. But there is this line in a Taylor Swift song that really stuck with me after hearing it just one time, which is so casually cruel in the name of being honest. So there could have been, or there could be currently, someone around you who is very cruel and mean with their words, and they get away with it with the excuse of them just being honest, of them just being upfront, of them just saying the truth. But in reality, this is just them spewing meanness, because one can be truthful and sincere without being disrespectful, and I feel like whoever this person is was just being downright disrespectful, and I feel like you're catching on to that. You're realizing, recognizing the difference between, you know, being honest, being sincere, and being mean, cruel, malicious, and or disrespectful. Or for some, it could be that this is something that you are learning about yourself. You know, how to be honest and sincere without being disrespectful. And because the energy of Sagittarius is very upfront and transparent as well, I do feel like if you had trouble speaking up or being honest or communicating your truth, this difficulty in communication is what is leaving. So I do see you finding it easier to communicate with others what it is that you truly mean, or communicate your intentions. Yeah, because I feel like the Magician is also someone who speaks their mind. Even if they might have unpopular opinions, they are not afraid to speak up when they feel it is necessary. Yeah, because I'm getting strong activist energy with the Magician. So some of you could be called to activism or becoming an activist, or some of you could already currently be an activist. Yeah, because I feel like you guys have strong beliefs, opinions, but I do feel like some of these opinions might be unpopular ones. Or how it's coming through with the Magician is that you're very passionate about what you believe in. And maybe in the past, you were made to feel like your passion was too much, and so that could have resulted in you holding yourself back, like suppressing your passion, or not feeling safe enough to be passionate or to love and enjoy what brought you joy. Yeah, and so I feel like what is next for you is you finding a safe space, because the Six of Cups and the Ace of Cups do speak about a safe space or a community that you feel safe in to express yourself, to be yourself. The Six of Cups also speaks about connecting with like-minded individuals or individuals who share similar passions of yours. So, and Sagittarius is very, very passionate. So I do feel like you guys are very passionate. You're full of love as well. Like love pours out of you. And I feel like what is next for you is you connecting with individuals or with a community or with an environment that is as passionate as you are, or does not shy away from demonstrating love and affection and care. Because I feel like when you guys care, you deeply care. And maybe at some point you were made to feel like that was wrong or inappropriate. And that could have resulted, again, in you holding yourself back. And now you're coming to realize that there's nothing wrong with being loving. There's nothing wrong with loving. You know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to connect with others, with wanting to help, with wanting to be of assistance. Yeah, but now I want to pull out a card to see what is the energy that is replacing the energy that is leaving. Ooh, okay, that is too many cards. Those are too many cards. Let me try again. So we have the first house with the self, appearances, the body, attitude, and first impressions. So the first house is associated with the zodiac sign Aries, which is another fire sign. So some of you could be a water and or a fire sign, sun, moon, or rising. But again, you don't have to be. But with the first house, what I'm seeing here is very similar to the magician energy. You being a leader of your own life. You going after the things that you want. You being in this go-getter energy. I feel like your attitude towards life is really going to change. It's going to be a lot more positive and optimistic. And with the magician here, there is this feeling of not fearing challenges. Like, I don't see you running away from any challenge that presents itself to you or any opposition. The first house is also making me think of a strong sense of self. So I do see you feeling a lot more confident in who you are. Because I see that what is next for you in your immediate future is you having a better sense of who it is that you are, of what it is that you truly believe in. And you knowing who you are is really giving you a lot of confidence. Because there's this mentality of, if I know who I am, then it will be very difficult for someone to knock me down with lies and deception. Because in knowing who I am, no one can make me believe who I am not. Mean, hurtful comments can't get to me because I know who I am. With the first house being here, I also feel like what you can expect in your immediate future is you feeling a lot more comfortable in your own skin. And I also see you feeling, looking, and being a lot healthier. Especially when it comes to your physical body. Yeah, because with the Ace of Cups, I get this feeling of your physical body is being well tended to, is being looked after, is being well nurtured. And with all this water energy here, what is coming through is that you will be hydrating yourself very, very well. And by you simply hydrating yourself, you're going to see a major difference in your appearance or your complexion as well as in your overall health. Yeah, I feel like hydrating your body is super important for you guys. Yeah, you could have a strong connection with the element of water. Also just, being near a body of water or submerging yourself in water could be very healing, very cleansing for you. Very replenishing. The first house also makes me think that you will not be the only one to notice a difference in yourself. Others will notice it too. They will notice a difference in your appearance because I do see you looking a lot more healthier. Like the feeling I'm getting with the Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups, especially with the Magician being here, is of someone glowing, someone radiating. Someone who looks like they are taking really good care of themselves. Not only physically, but also mentally, also spiritually, emotionally. And others will also be noticing a difference in your attitude, a difference in your mood, a difference in your approach to life. People will be noticing that you seem a lot happier, a lot more independent, also with the Magician, and a lot freer. Like it will be palpable, this change that you will be undergoing. Because the feeling I'm getting with all these cards is of someone who's... It's not of someone who's got it all figured out. That's not the feeling. It's more so of someone who's found their joy. Someone who has found inner peace. Someone who has found freedom. Yeah, so with the Magician here, I see you being quite magnetic to others. With the Ace of Cups, it's like you will be oozing charisma, or you will be oozing oozing so much love and radiance. It's the best way that I can describe it. It's like your aura will be so attractive to others. Yeah, with the first house being here, you could even be, for those of you who are single, even if you aren't single, actually, you could be attracting a lot of suitors. Or there could simply be a lot of people, we do have a lot of birds here, like flocking your way, coming your way, because you're coming through as so magnetic. Like people see that you got it. I don't know what that means, but like you figured it out is the feeling I'm getting here. It's like you're tapped in. You're tapped into cosmic source. You're tapped into the source of love. You've even like what just came through with the Ace of Cups is like the fountain of youth. Like people want to know what it is that you're doing to look so youthful, so radiant, so healthy, so alive, so full of life and so full of love. Yeah, so I also see you with the Magician and with the first house, you inspiring others by simply being you, by simply showing up. That's it. Like you're inspiring others. Like people will see you and they will feel like they themselves need to look deeper within, like need to reconnect with themselves. They will see you and they will know that there is something more. That life is worth living is the feeling I'm getting. I know it's all very cliche, super cheesy, but that's the vibe I'm getting from you guys. It's very beautiful. And all these descriptors sound very over the top, but in actuality, how the energy is coming through, how your energy is coming through is very simplistic. It's not about how you look, it's not about what it is that you're doing, it's more so about allowing yourself to simply be. That's where the freedom comes. And that's what you guys are allowing yourself to do, is to simply be. Because the overall feeling I'm getting with all these cards is of freedom, like freeing yourself. So ultimately, what others are sensing from you is sincerity. You are being sincere in all that you do and all of who you are, and others can sense that, which is what is attracting them to you. Sincerity, genuineness, and authenticity is the most attractive and freeing energy, and you are exuding all of that. So simply being near you feels liberating and enlightening. Yeah, so what you can expect in your immediate future is, I know I've said this several times, but is you not holding yourself back. Like if you feel inspired to do something, if it feels right to you, and if it isn't hurting anybody, you're doing it. You're not questioning it, you're just going for it. I also see you fearlessly attracting and or manifesting anything that feels in alignment with you, like, and doing so effortlessly. Because with the Magician, I feel like you are amazing manifestors. I don't even know if that's a word, but you're able to manifest, call in, and attract things easily to you. But now I want to pull out an extra oracle card to find out what else it is that you can expect in the near future. Ooh, okay. So we have Sand Dollar with manifestation and be open to receiving. Yeah, here's your confirmation. You guys are really great at manifesting, at attracting. You really are. But if you feel like in the past you have had trouble manifesting things, I feel it's because there have been some blockages. And like once you remove these blockages, which could be limited beliefs, you know, believing that you aren't capable of attracting what it is that you want to attract, or it could even be that a fear of realizing your potential, really tapping into your inner magic was the thing that was holding you back. Because I feel like a lot of you guys always felt like you were capable of so much more. But maybe you feared that, like finding out what it is that you were capable of, like how strong your magic was. And maybe it was you holding yourself back. But now you are choosing to really get to know yourself and tap into your infinite potential. And that's when things are coming much easier to you. Yeah, because I see you now being open to receiving. But I do want to read the guidebook message associated with this card. So we have manifestation, be open to receiving. Sand dollars represent prosperity and abundance. The sand dollar is here to remind you that you have the power to manifest your deepest desires. To attract these desires, you must live in a constant state of gratitude while fulfilling your higher purpose. If your manifestations do not align with your higher purpose, it is unlikely that the universe will fulfill them. Don't be disappointed if this happens. It just means that the universe has something better in store for you. You are capable of manifesting many things, including relationships, career opportunities, financial abundance, and spiritual development. When manifesting, it's essential that you maintain a positive mindset. Your thoughts have the power to transform your reality, and by believing that you're attracting your desires, you actually draw them closer to you. So we have the numbers 82, 83, pointing them out in case they are of significance. Yeah, so one of the things that you can expect in your immediate future is an improvement in your financial situation, because I do see you experiencing prosperity in your immediate future. And for a lot of you, that could be talking about like material wealth, financial stability, financial security, financial independence. But prosperity could be in terms to you feeling prosperous, you feeling like you're thriving, you feeling like you're doing well because you're feeling well. It's kind of like whatever prosperity means to you in specific, I do see you experiencing that in your near future. Now, there was something in the guidebook message that really stood out to me, which was, if your manifestations do not align with your higher purpose, it is unlikely that the universe will fulfill them. So, if it does happen to be the case that in the past or currently you do struggle with manifesting and or attracting what it is that you want, it could be because, as mentioned previously, what you are trying to attract is something that is not in alignment with you. It could be something that you're settling for. It could be something that reinforces limited beliefs, like keeps you playing small, or enables that idea, that belief that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve something better. So be very mindful as to what it is that you are attracting, especially when you feel like you're forcing for something to be. See if it is truly what you want, or if it is you letting fear get the best of you. If it's you making excuses for yourself to not pursue and actually go for the things that you truly want and desire. Because I feel like what is next for you is you being unabashed, is you just not second guessing your worth and your value, and whether or not you are deserving of what it is that you truly want and desire and is in alignment with you. Because the Ace of Cups to me represents feeling worthy, knowing your self-worth. And actually everything that was described in the guidebook, like manifesting, relationships, career opportunities, financial abundance, and spiritual development, it's everything I'm seeing you actually attracting for yourself. Although I do feel like what will be highlighted the most, like what area of life will be the main focus, will be different for each one of you. Like for some, it will be a relationship, because I do see you attracting, if not many, at least one significant relationship in your life. For a lot of you, I do see you attracting a deep, beautiful bond and connection. One that is based and founded on unconditional love. One that is supportive of growth. Growth in the relationship and growth in the other. And this does feel like a soul connection. And because we do have the Ace of Cups here, I do feel like this will be a new relationship, like someone new entering your life. But for some, this could be someone that you already know. Like you forming a deeper, beautiful, spiritual bond with someone that you already know. Yeah, so whatever kind of relationship you have been wanting to attract into your life, whether it be a romantic one, whether it be a platonic one, whether it be a business partnership or a creative partnership, I do see you manifesting that. That is what you can expect and or look forward to in your immediate future. For some, you could even be wanting to manifest a community. And if so, I do see you manifesting that. And because we do have the first house here, I do feel like a lot of you are building a community actually. A safe, beautiful community where people can show up authentically, where people can share their ideas, where people can share their stories, their journeys, and where people can heal together. Yeah, for a lot of you, this could be like a spiritual community. And I do see you being the leader of this community because we do have the Magician here. Yeah, so what is next is you attracting blessings into your life because now you are open to receiving that which is of your highest good. It's like now that you are open to being loved, you're being flooded with love. Like now that you are open to being taken care of, to being supported, to being blessed, you are being flooded with support and blessings. But I do want to pull out some homemade divination dice to see what else you can look forward to. Okay, so we have the exclamation mark, the paintbrush, and we have the scissors. So with the paintbrush, this makes me think of creativity, creation, creative energy. So I do see you feeling very inspired in your immediate future, feeling very creative. You could be reconnecting, as mentioned, with old passions, with old interests, or you could be finding new passions, new interests, new hobbies. I do feel like a lot of you who chose this groups are creatives or creators. You are into the creative arts and you're exploring more of that or really delving into it in your immediate future. And for those of you who are creators, artists, and you do live off of your creations, I do see you profiting very well from your creations, your creativity, your creative work in your immediate future. And with the paintbrush and with the message be open to receiving, I do feel like in your immediate future, you're going to feel quite proud of your work. Because I feel like for some in the past, you kept yourself from receiving praise, recognition, or even compensation or profit from your creative work because you thought that your creations, your work, your art wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough to receive recognition. It wasn't good enough to receive admiration. It wasn't good enough to profit from it in some way or to be shared with others. And it's like that kind of mindset or belief, and it could have been a subconscious belief, really blocked you. Yeah, so with the scissors here, I do feel like you are cutting away with a lot of things that weren't serving you, that were really limiting you and holding you back. And I do feel like you guys will be in your immediate future pursuing or doing something that you're really proud of, that you feel really fulfilled by. Like this is the thing that you want to be doing. It's something that gets you waking up in the morning because you're excited about working on this, doing this, being a part of it. Yeah, so I do see you working with your imagination, making use of your creative energy a lot more in your immediate future. And with the exclamation mark, this to me simply indicates that things are about to get exciting, really exciting for you. And you're going to experience a lot of aha moments, a lot of realizations of, I can't believe I could have had this or could have experienced this all this time. Because honestly, I feel like not much is changing in your external reality. How can I explain this? It's like you yourself are not making so many changes in your external reality. Like the changes first come within, comes in your attitude, in your perspective, your perception, the way you feel about yourself. And once you experience those changes within, you immediately start seeing changes in your external reality. Like you start seeing your blessings coming in. Everything that you've been working hard for suddenly starts like falling on your lap without you even trying. And it's like, wait a minute, I didn't really actually do anything different in my external reality. All I did was change my mindset and then things just started happening for me just like that. And it's kind of unbelievable to you. It's like a WTF moment. Because actually there was another message that stood out to me in the guidebook, which was, your thoughts have the power to transform your reality. By believing that you're attracting your desires, you actually draw them closer to you. And this had me recalling the messages that came through with the Sagittarius card. Because I did mention that it was possible some of you had in your vicinity someone who was quite disrespectful with their communication, with the excuse of being honest. And actually, after reading that guidebook message, for some, this could have actually been you. You being mean to yourself, you putting yourself down, you belittling yourself, or possibly even shaming yourself with the reasoning that you were just being honest with yourself. Like for example, if something wasn't working out, instead of being reasonable about it, you could have chosen to be mean with yourself. Like, oh, it's not working out because you are a failure. It's because you don't have talent. It's because no one likes you. it's because you don't have what it takes. And I'm just being honest. It's just the truth. And that's the kind of self-talk that kept you playing small, or that inhibited you or held you back, because it really didn't do anything good for you. It just messed with your self-esteem. It's one thing to recognize when improvement is needed, but it's another thing to be just plain mean about it. Because if we're always telling ourselves, you're not good enough, and you'll never be good enough, and you can't do better, you can't improve, then we'll end up believing that, and we'll feel less motivated to actually improve, to grow. Yeah, so if that's the kind of way that you tend to talk to yourself, I do see you leaving that kind of self-communication behind, because you're seeing that it isn't serving you. And now instead what you're choosing is a communication style that empowers you, that motivates you, that helps you to be honest with yourself but without being mean. So I do also see you having some strong boundaries with yourself. Yeah, and because you are the magician, I feel like it's super important how you talk to yourself, because your mind is super powerful. You are very powerful. So if you get yourself believing something, you are going to manifest it in some way. And what I mean by manifest it is you are going to live by that belief, because your words are like a spell. So you can put yourself under a spell by simply repeating the same thing over and over to yourself. And I do realize we have several ones here. The Ace of Cups is a 1, the first house is a 1, the Magician is the number 1 card in tarot. So the number 1 could be of significance for this group. You could be seeing a lot of repeated ones, especially if you chose the number 1. Yeah, and whenever you do see repeated ones, that could be an indication for you that you are on the right path, or that there is a new beginning ahead, or that you are giving way to a new beginning, or that it's time to start anew, start afresh. Or what is coming to mind in specific is that whenever you do see repeated ones, that could be an indication from your inner being, or even subconscious, that it's time to freshen things up a bit. Like, do something that is different from the norm, that is out of your routine, that is exciting to you, that is fulfilling to you, because you could be starting to get into this repetitive cycle or this monotone state where things may be becoming stagnant. So we need to kind of like spice things up a little bit, or just get your creative juices flowing again in some way. So do something that inspires you. Do something for the joy of it. Because I feel like you guys are at the core free spirits. You're passionate individuals. You care deeply. You love profoundly. When you get invested in something, you get invested. You go all in. So with you guys, playing it small would be such a disservice to yourself. And you will feel it. You will feel a dissonance, a disconnect. Like something is off, something is wrong when you are starting to play small. When you are holding yourself back in some way, you will feel it almost instantly, immediately. Because you are not meant to play small, or to pretend like you don't feel as intensely, as deeply as you do. Yeah, because your sensitivity, your profoundness is something beautiful. It's your gift. It's not a curse. You're living a prosperous life because you are rich within. You are abundant within. Yeah, so this is very much like your outer world will reflect your inner world. But in terms to time frames, I do feel like spring season is super significant for you guys. Sagittarius and Aries season could also be of significance. Whichever comes the closest to you. If spring is coming up, then pay attention to spring season. If Aries or Sagittarius season is coming up, then pay attention to those. But because you guys did choose a number from 1 to 3, something could be happening 1 to 3 months from now. And especially pay attention to the number that you intuitively chose. So if you chose the number 1, then something major will be occurring in 1 month's time. So for example, let's say you're trying to manifest a relationship. This relationship will manifest for you 1 month from whenever you happen to be watching this reading. Yeah, and for those of you who are wanting to manifest a significant relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic, this person could be an Aries sun, moon, or rising, or have a lot of Aries-like qualities. Yeah, so this is someone who is passionate, charismatic, a go-getter, has a really good sense of humor, or you really enjoy their humor. This will also be someone who is creative, and they could be an entertainer, or they could like entertaining. But I am seeing someone playing a guitar, so this could be someone who enjoys music, plays an instrument, or more specifically plays the guitar. And this is someone who you will find very beautiful or very attractive. Whether you are physically attracted to them or not, I do see you finding this person very beautiful. Yeah, and because the Six of Cups is such a mutual energy, I do feel like this person will also find you very attractive or very beautiful, and they will be very attracted to your energy as well. I'm getting major vibes of admiration. Oh, and I do feel like this is someone who, if it is a romantic prospect, even if it is platonic, I feel like this will be someone who will pursue you, like someone who will make the first move or come up to you first, ask you out, or to be more specific, whoever is the most extroverted in this dynamic. And for a lot of you, I feel like it will be the other person, because I feel like you're more of the introverted type. They will be the one making the first move and pursuing the other. And if you are quite introverted, this person really loves your introverted nature. And I want to be very clear that introversion doesn't mean submissive. It's more so about like, you know, being reserved, being quite introspective, taking it slow, valuing alone time. Like this person really likes that aspect about you and really respects it. Yeah, and if you are quite shy, they find your shyness very endearing. What is coming through is that they won't rush you. They won't rush you, or you won't feel rushed by this person. And when you're with them, you will feel a sense of calmness and peace, and feel very confident in their presence as well. I'm being reminded of the Disney Pixar movie Elemental. Oh my god, what's his name? Wade and Ember. How Wade permits Ember to shine. He doesn't mind if she's the center of attention whenever she is being praised, whenever she's being acknowledged. Instead of being jealous, envious, or wanting to take the spotlight for himself, he's very proud of Ember. Like, he wants her to be seen. He wants for her to realize how amazing she is and how amazing he finds her to be. I feel like that's how this person will be with you. Yeah, and with the first house being here, I feel like there will be an instant familiarity between you both and instant attraction. Yeah, like as soon as this person sees you, they will know. Like they will know that you're the one, or they will know that you will be best friends. And because we do have a Six of Cups here, this does feel like a long-term relationship. Okay, but I feel like I can go on and on about this connection. So I will stop myself here. Sorry. I do want to say, for some who are really resonating with you manifesting a specific connection or relationship, you could be meeting this person or coming into some form of contact with this person or reuniting with them, if that happens to be the case for you, or that's what you've been trying to manifest, a reunion, in 6 weeks, like 6 weeks from now. Like 6 weeks is really standing out to me. Also, I want to say birds. Birds could be an important symbol or sign for you guys. Yes, but these are all the messages I am seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements, since that is a simple way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I do want to give thanks to Spirit for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Yep, but that is all for now. I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this video, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hello you guys who chose group 2 or any numbers from 4 to 7. Bienvenidos to your reading. So when connecting with this group's energy, the first word that came to mind was restoration. And it's interesting that this word came up because what I sensed intuitively from this group's energy was a feeling of taking a step back, or of leaning back, because I actually felt myself kind of leaning back or wanting to lean back. And right now I even cross my arms over my chest. So it's sort of this posture of, I'm taking a step back in order to assess my situation, in order to take a better look at what is going on before me. So I do feel like in your immediate future, there is going to be a slight pause or this slowing down. And it's not because there is a lack of progress or there is a lack of action, but more so it's because of a need to take into consideration what is going on around you, what is happening in the moment, in order to assess whether where you are right now is where you want to be, or whether it is the kind of trajectory you want to continue. Because one of the other messages that came up for you guys was looking for an alternative. So some of you could currently not be feeling as pleased with something that you are doing or how you are approaching a specific situation, and in your immediate future you could feel the need to just take a moment, pause, and maybe look for a better approach, or maybe even consider other options, or look for a way to change things up a bit in order to bring back a sense of excitement and or fulfillment in, could be your life in general, or it could be a specific area of life, or it could be in something that you are working on or doing, like your career, your line of work, a project, a profession, your studies, etc. Now, with the word restoration in specific, I do feel like a lot of you will be going through a bit of a healing phase. Now, I feel like we're always healing whether we are aware of it or not, but I do feel like in your immediate future, you could be intentionally taking it a bit slow or wanting to slow down a bit in order to catch up with yourself, like in order to really go within and ask yourself like how it is that you are doing, or is there a specific need that you haven't attended to that needs attending. Like, for example, let's say in your recent past you experienced something very difficult, like a challenge, but in the moment you couldn't really process, this difficult moment. You couldn't really digest what was going on because you had to deal with it. You had to face the challenge, overcome it. And so what would be happening in this immediate future is now that you have a moment to breathe, now that you have a moment to actually slow down, you're now processing that difficult moment. Like, now you are digesting what came up for you, how you felt when you were facing that difficult challenge. And I also get this feeling of a reset, like taking a moment simply to take a breather, to make sense of things, because I just saw in my mind's eye like a tumbling weed or someone who's been tumbling, who's been kind of like rolling down this hill, and whilst they were rolling, they were quite disorientated and agitated. They didn't know where they were heading or when they fell or how they fell. But once they reached the bottom, once they stopped rolling down this hill, that's when they can really, take a moment to catch their breath and orient themselves. That's the kind of vibe I'm sensing for you guys in your immediate future. It's like really getting a moment to ground yourself and see where you're at, and then think about like what your next steps are, what you want to do next. Now, because I did ask of you to choose a number from 1 to 10, and you guys having chosen this group, you intuitively picked a number from 4 to 7. If you pick the number 4, I do feel like for you guys in specific, your immediate future will be focusing more on restoration, recuperation. As mentioned, taking a moment to catch your breath, to orient yourself, to ground yourself, and create pause in order to really digest and process what has transpired thus far and start looking into what you want to do next. And for those of you who chose the number 5, I feel like in your immediate future, what you can expect is major transformations and major changes. It's you looking for those alternatives, you looking for ways to bring about a positive change or create changes that will lead to more excitement, more fulfillment in your life, in an area of life or something that you're doing and are working on. And for those of you who chose the number 6, what you can expect in your immediate future is this yearning or this wanting for harmony and peace and tranquility. I feel like you are going to be, in a way, aiming for things that bring about balance in your life. And so I do see you taking a look at your life in general and seeing where changes are required or adjustments are required in order to bring about the harmony and the peace that you are yearning and longing for. Because the number 6 also makes me think of like health. So some of you could be also focusing on your health or wanting to live a healthier lifestyle and actively working towards that. And for those of you who chose the number 7, I feel like this immediate future is about introspection, going within. You might feel inclined to start certain spiritual practices or reconnect with spiritual practices if you had any in the past, but for whatever reason, for a while, you kind of disconnected from them. I see you reconnecting with those spiritual practice or with your spirituality or your spiritual side, however it is that you want to look at it. But I feel like this immediate future is more about you seeking a deeper sense of fulfillment, like wanting to do things that have a deeper purpose, a deeper meaning, wanting to do things that connect more with your sense of self or with your, it could be with your spiritual practices, with your spirituality, spiritual beliefs, but I feel it has more to do with wanting to live a life or do something, create something that is purposeful, that has purpose or is of value to you or is of value to others. Okay, but now I'm going to move into the cards. Shuffle one more time. The phrase that just came to mind was spiritual quest. Yeah, so for those of you who chose the number 7, you could be in your immediate future kind of going on a spiritual quest or a spiritual journey. Oh, okay. So we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like shuffling one time. Okay, there we go. And we have Knight in reverse. Okay, so 2 cards fell out in reverse. This lets me know that at this current moment or in your immediate future, you will be focusing on releasing or on letting go, or you will be ending something in your life or coming out of something old in order to step into something new. Yeah, there's this overall feeling of not wanting to do the same old, or not wanting to repeat the past, or not wanting to stay in a pattern or perpetuate a specific pattern that at this time you see or you feel no longer serves you or works for your highest good. The 6 of Pentacles in reverse is giving me this feeling of being reserved, like not really wanting to share what is going on with you, or not really wanting to share maybe your ideas, or possibly even not feeling inclined to share your resources. And this could be like material resources, but it could also be like your energy and time. I do see you kind of in a way pulling back a bit and being very selective as to who you share your energy, time, and space with. Yeah, and this could have something to do with that restoration vibe I was picking up on in the beginning, right? Because when we are restoring ourselves, we don't feel inclined to share, to give. Because what we are essentially doing when we are restoring is, kind of reclaiming our energy, calling our energy back to us. So I do see that in this immediate future, you are in a way working to build yourself up, or to start building yourself up. With the Six of Pentacles being in reverse, some of you could also be focusing on saving, like saving money, or just being more mindful of how much you are spending, or you are focusing more on investing. So instead of spending money, you are wanting to invest. And again, this doesn't necessarily just have to be about financial resources, but it could also be about your time and your energy, like switching your focus from spending to investing your time and your energy into things that are of value. Not giving your resources and or yourself away so easily and so readily is the feeling I'm getting here. Yeah, so you could be seeing yourself and your resources, your energy as something valuable and precious now. I will say with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, some of you could be going through a bit of a financial rut at this moment. Maybe you are needing to be very mindful of how much you spend or invest because there isn't a lot of financial income or profit. Yeah, so I did mention at the beginning something about creating pause. And I feel like for a lot of you, you are intentionally creating pause in your life in order to bring order back into your life. Because I get the feeling with these two cards in reverse that for a moment, you did feel like you were kind of losing control of a situation. Like, for example, losing control of your financial situation, or you felt at a loss in some way. Maybe there was a point in your life where you felt like things were happening very quickly, or there were a lot of changes occurring and you felt like you couldn't catch up because you had to, in a way, just push through or just, work very hard to keep up with all these changes. And so what is happening in your immediate future is that you're getting some kind of relief is how it's coming through. You're getting a much needed pause in order to make sense of your situation or bring back order into your life, as mentioned, or regain a sense of control. Maybe control is not the correct term to use, but there is this feeling of getting a hold of your situation. Yeah, so for a lot of you, I do feel like it could be an area of life that you felt like you were at a loss when it came to it. You're regaining control back of it. Yeah, because with this Knight card in reverse, when the Knight card shows up right, it gives me this feeling of fleeing, fleeing in the night. But it being in reverse, it's like instead of avoiding a situation that needs attending to, or instead of running away from responsibilities, you are choosing to stick around to take charge, to fix a situation or bring about a solution or make adjustments to improve a situation and so forth. Yeah, so if there was something in the past or something currently that kind of scares you because you don't really know how to go about it, you don't really know how to handle it, but it is something that needs to be addressed, I do feel like what you can expect in your immediate future is you finding the courage to address this situation, as well as finding a way that works for you to approach this situation so that it won't be so daunting for you. Yeah, so if there is anything in your life that you have been avoiding because it was a bit scary for you, or it brought you anxiety or something along those lines, I do see you addressing that in your immediate future and working through it. Finding a solution, making adjustments, making improvements, or just working through it. The Six of Pentacles in reverse can also speak about being undervalued. If for a while now you have come to realize that you have been undervalued, or what is coming through in specific, it's like a work situation where someone is being underpaid or they're being exploited in some way. Yeah, because with the Knight being in reverse, it gives me this feeling of going unseen. Like you're doing all this work, you're putting all this work, but it isn't being recognized. So if that resonates with you, I do feel like you are choosing to take some action towards this. It's like you're no longer keeping quiet. It's the feeling I'm getting. Or more so, it's that I see you building up the courage to stand up for yourself, or to possibly even choose to walk away from a situation that was unfair or unjust, where there was some major imbalance, because we do have the scales here. Yeah, so this would be a situation in which one is giving way more than they are receiving. So if that resonates with you, I feel like you already know what this situation is. You already know where there is an imbalance, and in your immediate future is about you coming to realize that you are deserving of fairness, that you are deserving of, like, let's say, a fair pay, or you are deserving of a raise, you are deserving of getting recognition for the work that you do. And what I'm getting in specific with the Six of Pentacles in reverse is respect, like just downright decent human respect. You are deserving of that. So I feel like in your immediate future is about you understanding, realizing, and recognizing your value, your inherent value, and also your value in a place, in a situation, in an environment, that what you do is of value. Yeah, so I still have more cards to pull out, but I do feel like in this immediate future, a lot of you might not be choosing to take any form of action, but I do see you coming to these realizations. Like, for example, I am putting more that I am receiving. Or this phrase keeps coming to mind, but I keep hesitating on sharing it with you guys because I don't know if it is to that extreme. So just please use your discernment when it comes to any message that comes through in the reading. But the phrase that keeps coming to mind is being taken advantage of. It's like realizing whether you are being taken advantage of in a situation. Or I know this is gonna sound very, very harsh, but for some it could even be whether you are allowing yourself to be taken advantage of, and whether this is something that you want to continue allowing. Like, for example, being in an environment where you are not respected. Yeah, because with the Knight card in reverse, I feel like this is about considering whether or not to leave a situation, whether or not to leave an environment. So I feel like in your immediate future is more about you coming to these realizations, assessing, reassessing your situation, and then coming to a conclusion on what it is that you want to do. What is the next steps you want to take? Whether it's time to leave, let go, or move on, or whether you want to continue remaining as you are. But now I want to pull out some extra oracle cards to first find out what is the energy that is being left behind, or that is leaving. Oh, okay, so we have two cards that fell out. So we have the 8th house with transformation, intimacy. This word, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube. Shared finances, debt, inheritance, and mystery. And we also have waxing crescent with set intentions, rebuilding, hopes, and wishes. Yeah, so I did mention transformation for some, and I do feel like in your immediate future, you will be experiencing some form of transformation. For some, it will be more intense than for others. I especially feel that for those who intuitively chose the number 5, this transformation will be the most, the word catatonic came to mind, but the most intense. Yeah, because I feel like what you can expect next, it's about you coming to a lot of realizations, and some of these realizations might be a bit tough because it's like realizing what it is that you have allowed for the longest time that is really not in alignment with you, that has been negatively affecting you in some way, or it's just not of your highest good. Yeah, because again, looking at the Knight card in reverse, it makes me think of like avoiding something, avoiding seeing the truth, avoiding taking accountability or responsibility. Yeah, and then look, we have the waxing crescent with rebuilding, which is reminding me of the word restoration. So for a lot of you, I do see you kind of, and I did mention, something about building yourself up. I do see you building yourself back up, or it could be even building something back up, like building your finances back up, or maybe building a business that didn't do so well at first, building it back up. It could even be like rebuilding a system that didn't work out so well the first time around. Yeah, and then with 8th house, we do have debts. And I did mention something about a financial rut or financial struggle for some. For some, it could even be a financial loss or not such a great financial investment. I do see you recuperating from that. So I feel like what you can expect in your immediate future, it could be something like regaining your confidence, your will, your motivation to continue with something or to continue on or to transform something, like for example, transform a situation that wasn't looking so great or that you thought was a negative situation into a positive one. Yeah, because again, with the Knight card in reverse, it gives me this feeling of sticking around. And what I mean by that is like choosing not to run away from difficulties, not to run away from challenges, or not running away when things get tough, instead choosing to face those challenges head on. Choosing to stick around in order to see something through or to improve a situation, to come out of a situation. Because sometimes our immediate response to challenges or tough moments is to run away, to look the other way, to pretend that what we are going through isn't happening. It's like standing in a dark tunnel and pretending that we aren't in this dark tunnel, like closing our eyes and pretending that we aren't in darkness and choosing not to move either backward or forward, just staying there or pacing back and forth, going around in circles. But doing that doesn't get us out of that dark tunnel. It keeps us there longer. It prolongs us being in that darkness, whether we want to see it or not. Whereas if we choose to open our eyes and really see the darkness that we are in, recognize that we are in this dark tunnel and choose to keep moving forward, we will eventually get out of that dark tunnel. We will eventually get through it and out of it. So I feel like that's what you are doing now. It's like you're choosing to open your eyes, see where you are at, face your situation, and move forwards. And by you moving forwards, you are creating more possibilities for you to come out of this situation a lot faster and to build something new, create something new, to bring stability and order back into this situation or your life in general. Yeah, so because we do have debt here, if you are going through a financial struggle, if you do have debts to pay, I do feel like because you are choosing to focus on managing your finances, being more mindful of your financial situation, I do see you paying off this debt. I do see this debt leaving, not being an issue anymore. I do see you coming out of this financial rut or this financial struggle, or coming out of a period of instability, specifically financial instability or even insecurity about your financial situation. With shared finances, because I did mention something about inequality being taken advantage of, I do feel like if there has been anything or anyone who has been draining your financial resources, that something or someone is going to exit your life. Or you could be coming into awareness of what is draining your finances, or it could even be, as mentioned, like your resources, right? Your energy, your time. And you are choosing to not give to that anymore. I'm even seeing it in terms of like a business, like someone seeing where the losses are and then finding a solution for that. And once they do, like everything comes back into order, back into stability. Yeah, so for some, this could even be about like spending habits or about like time management. Yeah, and with this word here, sex, for some, this could even be about like seeing your relationship, your physical intimate relationships, to be more specific, because when we connect with others, when we are physically intimate with others, we do exchange energies with them. And we are talking about your resources here, right? So for a lot of you, I feel like what you are leaving behind or choosing to do less of, it could be something like casual physical intimacy. Yeah, because this might be very blunt, but with the Knight card in reverse, what keeps coming to mind, it's like one night stands, for example. or like situationship, or connecting with romantic partners who are not really looking for commitment and or stability, who are simply looking for like physical pleasure and like short-term gratification. And this is not to say there's anything wrong with that. I'm simply mentioning this because the Six of Pentacles did come out. It came out in reverse, but it did come out nonetheless. So I do get the feeling from this group that what you are looking for now, or what you will be looking for soon, if this isn't your intention at this moment, is stability. It's something reliable, something concrete, something long-term, something that is equal, that is balanced, something that won't flee in the night or be elusive. So if that is what you are aiming for, if that is like the new intentions that you are setting for yourself, then these like one night stands or connecting with people who aren't really serious about commitment is no longer going to serve you or work for you. So I feel like that is the energy, you know, this instability, this flakiness in a way is what is leaving. Yeah, because the 8th house can also speak about like sensuality, sexuality, physical intimacy, but it's more about like pleasure. At least that is how it's coming through with this card. So yeah, I see you wanting something deeper. And I didn't mention that at the beginning for those of you who chose the number 7. It's like wanting something that is more fulfilling, wanting something that has a deeper meaning, that is not so superficial. Yeah, some of you could be longing for like a soul connection, connecting on an emotional, intellectual level and not just on a physical, intimate level. Yeah, because what I'm seeing here is someone trying to find connection solely through physical intimacy, but realizing that the more they try to find connection in this way, the less they are able to feel it or find it. Yeah, because I know this is the image all of these house cards have, but with the house it made me think of warmth and comfort. It's like someone wanting to find their home in someone else, or finding the longing and comfort through physical intimacy, but once engaging in this physical intimacy, instead of feeling that warmth and comfort, what they feel is like a sense of loss or emptiness. Yeah, and it's because this intimacy is lacking like emotional depth, emotional connection. And I just got dizzy right now. The 8th house also makes me think of like fast movement. Oh, and I did mention at the beginning something about stepping back or leaning back. So some of you could be choosing to take it slow in your relationships or connections. Instead of jumping into a connection or choosing to be intimate with someone before getting to know them, you could be now choosing to take your time, like first get to know someone, establish that emotional connection, see if there is intellectual compatibility, like look beyond the physical attraction, look beyond the lust, the chemistry, and see if there is something more before deciding to give a part of your energy away to someone, exchange energies with someone in that way. I'm sorry if I took so long to deliver this kind of message, but I do struggle a bit with this topic of like physical intimacy and all that stuff, because I really don't know how to refer to it, especially being here on YouTube, or I'm just very mindful of the wording I use. Yeah, but let's see what is the energy that is replacing this energy that is leaving. So we have the North Node with biggest soul lessons in this life, how we can grow and evolve, and what we need to work towards. Yeah, so I do feel like what's next is a huge evolution for you. It's about your growth, about you evolving, you realizing what needs to be worked on, what adjustments are needed in order to bring about improvement in your life or betterment, or to create a healthier lifestyle, healthier mindset. Yeah, so some of you could be focusing on bringing about this growth, this evolution into certain areas of life, and others of you, it could be more in general. Like it could be more about your personal growth, personal evolution. Because I do feel like for some, there will be a focus on like your finances, your career, profession, and so forth. And for others of you, it will be about your relationships, how you connect with others. And others of you, it will be about your aspirations, your goals, your dreams, your sense of purpose, your lifestyle, and so forth. So it might vary and differ for each one of you. But overall, what I am seeing for everyone who chose this group is that your intentions are changing. I see you looking for something different, wanting something different. So I do see you going through changes, but going through changes within in terms to what it is that you want for yourself, want for your future, want in your relationships, in terms to what it is that you want to feel, what it is that you want to experience. I also see there being changes in your priorities, like what you are prioritizing from now on, what is important to you, what is of value. You know, going back to the example of relationships, whereas before maybe you looked for chemistry, you know, you looked for physical compatibility and or attraction in your romantic connections. Now you are looking for, you know, emotional compatibility, whether there is an emotional connection, whether there is an intellectual compatibility between you and any romantic prospect, whether there is a soul connection. Maybe you're looking for something deeper, is the feeling I'm getting with the North Node. And with the North Node, I also see you coming into awareness of your value, your inherent value. And recognizing the North Node, I don't know much about astrology, but the feeling I get with the North Node is about realizing a lot of harsh truth, coming to realize and accept a lot of harsh truths. Truths that we've been avoiding, truths that we've been turning a blind eye on because they were difficult to swallow. And most of these truths are truths that we already deep down know, or that we've always known, but again, we were simply choosing to not see them, choosing to not recognize them. But not recognizing these truths have ultimately held us back, or kept us stuck, or kept us playing small, or kept us in situations that were unhealthy for us, were imbalanced. And so the North Node comes here kind of like a wrecking ball, you know, to break down, tear down the wall that was keeping us from moving forward, or keeping the light from coming in. So I do see you going through a lot of major lessons in this immediate future, or like learning the lessons, recognizing what the lessons are. And I also see you implementing what you have learned into your life. It's not just about understanding what the lessons are, but it's now about putting them into practice, making use of them. That's what I see you doing in your immediate future. So what's next? It's huge transformation. It's big changes in your perspective about things, in your priorities, in what you value, and what you want for yourself, want to experience and want in life. Yeah, so also I feel like what you can expect in your immediate future is for anything that is not of you, or is in alignment with these new intentions that you are creating for yourself, to fall through. Yeah, it could either be that they will exit on their own, come to an end on their own, or it could be that you yourself won't feel as inclined to choose these things. Like, yeah, so just to give an example, let's say someone is now looking for commitment in the romantic relationship. So because this is their new intention, now they won't feel so attracted to, or they won't find the attraction in relationships that are fleeting, or in romantic prospects that do not demonstrate any intention for commitment. Like, they won't be attracted to, let's say, players or people who are looking for one night stands or flings. No, now they will feel more pulled towards people who are looking for commitment and are wanting a long-term relationship. Yeah, so it's like your dislikes and your likes will be changing. That's something that you can expect in your immediate future. But now I'm gonna pull out an extra oracle card to see what else it is that you can look forward to in this immediate future. Let me try again. No. One card, please. So, okay, this is the card that wanted to come out. So we have peer. You decide. The choice is yours. Yeah, so I feel like what's next is about you realizing that you do have a choice, that the choice is yours, that you do have a say in most of what happens in your life. You do have a say. I did mention something about like regaining control at the start. So yeah, this is kind of reminding me of that. Maybe you felt like you didn't have much control over your life, but this card here is reminding you that yes, it's true there are some things that are out of our control, but most things are in our hands. And one of those things is your choices, the decisions that you make, the actions you choose to take. The choice is yours. So this could also be indicating that what's next is you making some very important decisions. Yeah, but whatever it is that you're choosing and or deciding, it is coming from you. This is a decision that you yourself are making. So most of the changes that you will be experiencing in your immediate future will be your doing. Will be changes that come from you making some kind of decision. But I do want to read the guidebook message associated with this card. So we have peer with you decide, the choice is yours. Peer is an extension from one element, earth, into another, water. They allow us to glance at the abyss of the ocean without actually venturing upon it. The peer signifies that you are aware of an opportunity, but you are hesitant to take action. It is okay to contemplate and plan future changes, but do not get stuck within this preparation phase. Eventually, you will need to grab your sea legs and jump in feet first. Remember, you are a limitless being with infinite potential. And then we do have the numbers 68 and 69, pointing them out in case they are of significance. But yeah, I feel like some of you guys are currently contemplating, and planning for future changes, whereas others of you are getting ready to, take that leap of faith, make those changes. And others of you are still considering, you're still considering whether it's time to take action or not. Yeah, but overall, I feel like a lot of you guys see, you know by this point what needs to change, or you know what it is that you want to pursue, or you know what opportunities are out there, or what are the opportunities that you yourself can create for you. So I do feel like this immediate future is more about you choosing what it is that you want, whether you do want to take back control of the reins of your life, whether you do want to do things differently this time, or you want to continue a pattern. It's all up to you. You're the one who decides and chooses what to do. But with the North Node being here, I feel like the vast majority of you are choosing to do things differently, do things in a way that is healthier, that is more in alignment with your new intentions. Now I'm going to pull out some homemade divination dice to get more info. So we have the letter, we have the hanger, and oops, let me roll this one more time. I'm not sure how it fell out. What is this? I'm actually not sure what this is. Feels like an unfinished drawing. So this could be speaking about unfinished plans. So some of you could still be in the process of making plans, or maybe picking up where you left off. Maybe there were some plans or a project that you started a while back, or a venture, but you left it midway, you left it unfinished, and what's next for you is you picking up right where you left off. Yeah, this also kind of reminds me of this rebuilding energy, like starting something from scratch or making adjustments. But I do see you guys setting forth something in motion. With the letter here, you could be receiving a message, an important message. What just came to mind was the word confirmation. So if you've been waiting for some kind of confirmation, I do see you receiving it in your immediate future. If you've been waiting for an acceptance letter, I do see you receiving this acceptance letter, this approval. Ooh, and the message or the phrase that just came to mind was resignation letter. So some of you could be turning in a resignation letter, and that's you choosing or deciding that it's time to move on to something new. Maybe switch career paths or look for a different job or just leave your old job situation. Yeah, and because we do have the peer here, this makes me think of taking a leap of faith. So this is not advice at all. This is just simply what is coming through. I feel like some of you guys might choose to bring something to an end, or like for example, turn in a letter of resignation, quit a job, let's say, but without having like a backup plan, like without having another job set up for you. Yeah, because with the hanger here, there's this feeling of like being left on a cliffhanger, like not knowing what's next exactly. Yeah, so some of you could be taking that approach. Again, this is not to say that that's how you should go about things. This is more so what I'm seeing here with the cards, that some of you could be taking that approach. And so if you do decide to take that approach, I do see there being a period where you will be experiencing a pause. And I did mention that at the beginning, some of you experiencing a pause, because this is kind of reminding me of the Fool card. So yeah, what's next is a bit unclear. It's a bit of a mystery, and we do have this energy of mystery here. So if this is how you tend to do things, if you leave things up to faith, or you end things quickly, or you jump into things or out of things without really knowing what's next, without really planning for anything, and that's kind of a pattern that you've been repeating for a while, then you taking this form of action will be you choosing to continue an old pattern. Yeah, so if you're already familiar with this kind of pattern, whatever it is that you experienced in the past, when it comes to this pattern, I feel like you can expect to experience again by repeating this pattern. Yeah, so if this is a pattern you want to get out of, maybe reconsider doing things differently. Like for example, before turning in a letter of resignation or quitting a job, make sure to have another job lined up for you, or kind of know what the next step is, or have some kind of plan instead of having no plan, or make sure to have some kind of backup. Yeah, that will very much depend on what you want to do, whether you want to continue repeating a pattern or whether you want to do something differently. This image here is also reminding me of a tag, which is reminding me of a luggage tag. So some of you could be traveling, especially with the pier being here. You could be traveling somewhere where there is a large body of water, or this is also reminding me of a price tag. So some of you could be, as mentioned previously, being very mindful of your spending habits. Yeah, with the hanger here, it's making me think of like clothes or luxury items, brands. This message just came out of nowhere. I don't know if it will resonate, but it was something about like the price of something doesn't determine its value, or doesn't make something better. So it's sort of like, just because it's expensive doesn't mean that it's of better quality, something along those lines. Maybe you're coming to realize that, so you're not focusing so much on like the price tag or how expensive it is, but you're more focusing on the quality of it. And maybe that's the kind of mindset or perspective that is helping you save money, or just be more conscientious about consumerism or spending, or something along those lines. But the hanger also makes me think of like the hangman, like a pause. So yeah, I did mention some of you could be literally creating pause for yourself in order to like introspect, contemplate on things, see how it is that you can grow and evolve. Like it could be yourself, or it could be about a situation. Yeah, but these are all the messages I am getting here thus far. The 8th house is associated with Scorpio, so Scorpio season could be of significance, or you could be a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising, or have Scorpio in your 8th house. But when the moon is in Scorpio, that could also be a significant time for you guys. I'm not getting any specific like time frames or dates for this group. I mean, it could be that 4 to 7 weeks days, weeks, or months could be a significant time frame for you guys. Yeah, so because I'm not getting any specific like time frame, this energy that was described in this reading could be quite immediate. Like you could already be experiencing it. It could sort of be like your current energy for a lot of you. Yeah, but these are all the messages I'm seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements, since that is a simple way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I do want to give a thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. Yeah, but that is all for now. I am wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this video. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, you guys who chose group 3 or any number from 8 to 10. Bienvenidos to your reading. So when connecting with the energy of this group, several messages came to mind at once, but because they came to mind at once, they were all jumbled up. So I really couldn't make sense of any one of them. There was one that I kind of could make sense of, and it went something along the lines of working to become more successful. So because you guys did choose a number from 8 to 10, these are numbers that immediately reminded me of the 8, the 9, and the 10 of Pentacles in the tarot. And these are all cards that have to do with career, with finances, status, building your reputation, financial independence, and so forth. So I do feel like a lot of you could be in your immediate future focusing on your career, on building your reputation, or on possibly bettering a skill or improving your financial situation, creating financial stability in your life. And for those of you who are students, I do feel like in your immediate future, it's about focusing on your career, on your studies, your higher education. Yeah, for those of you who chose the number 8, I do feel like what's next for you is improvement in a skill, improvement in your craft, in your career, in your knowledge, wisdom about something. And I also do see you focusing on your work. Like being hard at work is the feeling I'm getting. But it doesn't feel like overworking yourself. It more so feels like you being dedicated and passionate about what it is that you're doing, or about reaching a goal or creating stability in your profession, your career, your business, line of work, or whatever it may be. Yeah, so for those of you who chose the number 8, I also see you focusing on personal pursuits, hobbies, and passions of yours. And for those of you who chose the number 9, I do see financial independence, and I also see major improvement in your finances overall. Some of you could also be jumping into self-employment, freelancing, or if you are already self-employed or you own your own business or do something of your own, I do see major improvements and or breakthroughs in what it is that you have created on your own or what it is that you do. Yeah, there's this feeling of security, you feeling more secure in your profession, in your line of work, in your creative endeavors, in your chosen path. It's how it's coming through. And for those of you who chose the number 10, what's next for you is the completion of something. So it could be the completion of a project. It could be the completion of a phase or chapter in your career, in your education, in your personal growth as well, self-evolution, because I do see you reaching some kind of milestone. Yeah, the number 10 is also reminding me of the 10th house in astrology, which is a house of achievements, recognition, status. Yeah, so I feel like for those of you who chose the number 10, in your immediate future, you can expect for you to have achieved something major. For a lot of you, I feel like what's next for you is you gaining recognition for something, or you being recognized as an expert, as a professional, you having some kind of title or degree or certification. Some of you could even be graduating from a course, school. Yeah, but I feel like your status in career, in your profession, it's changing, it's leveling up for those of you who chose the number 10. But now let us pull out some cards. Ooh, okay, so 2 cards fell out. So the card that flipped over is the King of Pentacles. So Pentacles have to do with the material, and the King of Pentacles in specific is about financial stability, financial security. It often represents someone who is a business owner, someone who is an entrepreneur, someone who has found stability in what it is that they do, someone who is self-reliant, dependable, and self-sufficient is how it's coming through. The King of Pentacles is also an earth sign, so Virgo, Taurus, and or Capricorn. And I don't know why, but I'm getting major vibes of the number 10 from the King of Pentacles. But then we also have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So interesting. So both pentacle energy. So the Ace of Pentacles, when it is upright, it indicates new beginnings. It can also indicate breakthroughs in finances, career, studies. It also represents financial stability and security. It could also represent new job offers or new financial opportunities. So it being in reverse, it does give me this feeling of you turning down an opportunity or an offer. But let me pull out a clarifying card. The Ace of Pentacles, when it is upright, it also speaks about something long-term, like a commitment. Ooh, that was fast. Okay, so 2 cards fell out together, 1 card flew out, but all of them fell out at once. So we have 3 cards. We have Hope, Wish, and Void. Okay, so this is what I was sensing with the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So what's next is that an offer, it could be more than one, will be presented to you, but you will be turning it or them down. And it is because with the King of Pentacles showing upright, I do feel that in your immediate future, you will be feeling a lot more secure and stable. It could be in terms to your financial situation. It could be in your career, your profession. It could be in your life in general. But I also feel like it's about you feeling stable and secure within yourself. And so because you are feeling so stable and secure, you don't feel a need to take on every opportunity that comes along. I see you being very selective and discerning. So it's like you're reaching or coming to this point where you feel comfortable and safe enough to be selective. Like there's no need for you to take any offer that is less than your standards or that doesn't meet your qualifications. The word replace just came to mind. So maybe you do feel like it's time for a change, or more specifically, time to spice things up a bit, to elevate things, to maybe expand something. But you have yet to find a way to do this, or you have yet to find the right source, the right start, or right offer in order to take this next step. And so at this moment, it's like universe is bringing offers your way, but they're options. They're all options. It's not like the thing that you have to take. And you realize this. You realize that, so you're taking your time. And I do see you cooperating with the universe. Like if an opportunity is presented to you, you do take some time to look into it, to consider it, to ponder upon it, to see if it fits, to see if it aligns with what it is that you want to create, if it aligns with what it is that you have already established, whether it will elevate what it is that you're doing, or whether it would, instead of expand things, shrink things or keep things just as they are. And you're informing the universe of what it is that you see with these offers and opportunities that are being presented to you. Like, for example, if you turn down an offer, you have a reason as to why. And the reason not only informs the universe, but it also informs you as to what it is that you're looking for. So with Wish and Void, I feel like there is something in specific that you're looking for, and then you're trying to call in to attract and or to manifest. Yeah, it feels more like manifesting, attracting, because it's like you're calling it in from the void. And then we do have wish here, so it's like you're wanting this thing, you're picturing it in your mind, you're longing for it, and you're trying to call it in. But so far, what has been presented to you hasn't been exactly what you've been trying to attract. It's similar, it kind of feels like it kind of looks like it, but it isn't it. And you can tell, because I do see you being quite discerning with this King of Pentacles. Like you can tell that it's a copy of it, but it's not the original thing. Yeah, so you're only looking for the original. That's the only thing you're accepting. And you do have hope. You have hope that it will come through for you. So, I mean, this could be about, a job offer, for example. This could be about a business partnership. This could be about a collaboration. This could be about a business idea, an investment, an investor, a sponsor. It could be about anything related to work, to finances, to career. But apart from that, this could also be about other areas of life. For example, waiting for a partner, for someone to commit to, someone to say yes to, someone to get into a long-term relationship with. Because the King of Pentacles can also speak about, stability in your relationships and your connections, stability in your home life. And I did mention that the Ace of Pentacles, when it is upright, it does speak about longevity, something long-term, about commitments. I'm also getting something about like contracts with the Ace of Pentacles, like building foundations. So I do see you being very mindful as to what you say yes to, as to what you commit to or who you commit to. There's this feeling of not settling. You're not settling for less than. You know what your standards are and you're staying true to them. And you're hoping that universe, the law of attraction, meets your standards. So with hope, wish being here, I do feel like this is an indication that your discernment, your willingness to be patient for what it is that you want, it will be paying off. It will be paying off. You will be receiving exactly what it is that you have been wanting. You will. Or you will be achieving what it is that you want. And I do feel like it will come to you. Like you don't have to go out looking for it. It will come to you. Because that's the energy I see you being in, which is in a receptive mode of allowing for things to come to you. So I feel like what's next for you is you being in this phase where you feel safe enough, secure enough, comfortable enough to pick and choose. And I do see offers coming your way. It could be several or it could be one major important offer that might get you considering, to accept it, to take it. But at the end, you might choose not to say yes to it because you realize that it's not quite it. It's not quite it for you. But let me pull out the rest of the cards. So we are first going to look into what is the energy that is leaving. Ooh. Okay, that was a lot. What is the energy? Nope, that is leaving. Okay, so 2 cards fell out. So we have Square with challenge, conflict, determination. Spies help us to advance and grow. And we have Sextile with past life mastery, perfect harmony, and unity. I was going to mention something with these 2 cards of like you not calling upon this Ace of Pentacles because you need it, but more so because this Ace of Pentacles energy needs you in some way. And that's the kind of vibe I'm getting with the Square card. So I feel like you are looking for equilibrium. You are looking for something where it's going to be a fair exchange, where it's not only something taking from you or you taking from it, but instead you can benefit one another. And so I feel like maybe in the past what you have experienced a lot of is imbalance in giving and receiving. There not being a mutual exchange. And if so, this is the energy that is leaving. Or this is the energy that you are being very mindful and very careful as to not allow into your space because you don't want to work with that kind of energy anymore. I'm even getting the example that came to mind. It's like someone who was working a 9 to 5 or working under a company and they were working very hard to make money for someone else. It's kind of like that mindset of I don't want to work to make someone else rich. I want to work for me now. So with that kind of mindset or mentality, a lot of you could have chosen to jump out of like a 9 to 5 onto like self-employment, freelancing, working for you becoming your own boss. And now you're very careful as to not embody that kind of energy where Like someone is working for you to make you rich, or someone wants to take maybe advantage of your current prosperity or situation in order to benefit only themselves. Like what you're looking for is a mutual exchange where you can help someone and they can help you. Or I'm even seeing something like you will be reaching a point in your status, in your financial situation where you're pretty well off, like you're doing really, really good. And you know that, you're well aware of that, and you're not being stingy about it. Is how it's coming through. Like you're willing and wanting to help others. But what you're looking for is not like financial compensation. What you're looking for is just gratification from helping someone get off their feet, start their own business, helping someone get recognition, and so forth. And you're okay with that. Like that brings you fulfillment. That's what you want to do. But because you're well aware that you can only give so much, you're being very mindful as to who you extend this help to. Like you're being, once again, selective. You're actively choosing. So what I'm getting with this square card here is like, what is leaving is this feeling of having your hands tied behind your back, feeling like you can't be able to choose, or like you don't have a say in a situation. Because now with this King of Pentacles, you do. You have a say in how you share your resources, whether you do or you don't share your resources, on where you invest your time, your energy, on what you choose to create, what you choose to do. Yeah, and with hope here, I feel like a lot of you are choosing to bring hope to others or help others make their dreams come true. And it's because that's something that you want to do. That's something that brings you fulfillment, and it's something that you can do at this moment to some extent. Like, help someone get their business off their ground, or help promote someone's business, or help kickstart a project, for example. Or maybe mentor someone, guide someone, because now you have the experience to share, wisdom to share. Yeah, but it's your choice. Yeah, it's this feeling of you're not being forced to do so. It's more so because you want to. You're choosing to do so. And what I also see leaving with square is like literally conflict and challenges. I feel like you have overcome the challenges. I feel that you have already gone through the tough times. Like you've learned the lessons. You've already gone through, that difficult part of the journey. And now it's a time to like reap the rewards of your hard work. So that challenging phase, that time where you had to like grind and work hard, I feel like that's what's leaving. It's done and over with for the moment. And now it's about you enjoying your blessings, reaping your rewards. As mentioned, I feel like you're coming to this point in your immediate future where you don't have to settle. The word desperation keeps coming to mind. So maybe in the past, some of you had to say yes to things that were really below your standards because you were going through a desperate time. Maybe you were going through a financial hardship. Yeah, and you were kind of maybe in a way desperate for anything that would give you an opportunity, a chance to thrive, or to provide for yourself or provide for your loved ones. Yeah, and if that's the case, this time of desperation, this time of need is done with. And with determination, it gives me this feeling of someone feeling like they need to push through. Like they need to put up with certain things in order to just keep going. Like with determination, I'm seeing someone who like has to have a strong will, has to have like thick skin, or has to build thick skin because they need to survive, And so what I'm seeing here, it's like coming out of that survival mode. It's not just about surviving anymore. Like you can live now. You can live and breathe now and relax now, because look, this moose here is relaxing, is chilling, knowing that they have their pentacle by their side, their security. So I feel like you guys are warriors. You guys have faced a lot of challenges in your life. You worked for what you currently have. So you know how tough it can get out there, how tough and real it can get. And I feel like you have a lot of compassion and empathy for anyone who is starting off as you started off, who is currently working to build their own stability, to get off the ground or get something off the ground. And so like instead of keeping what you have created to yourself, like your wisdom, your experience, a lot of you are choosing to share that. Like you're not gatekeeping. Because I feel like you have in the past, when you were starting off, met a lot of people who instead of sharing and guiding and being supportive, they decided to gatekeep or to make it more difficult for one. And so you know what it feels like to come across someone who is in that kind of energy or mindset, and a lot of you are not wanting to be that challenge for someone else. I mean, challenges are good. It helps us grow and evolve, but I mean, with the square energy is very tough. I don't know much about astrology, but the little I know is that square energy can be very, very, very difficult. It's like very stubborn. It doesn't allow for flow. So there's like good challenges, but then there's unnecessary challenges and difficulties, and you don't want to be an unnecessary challenge or difficulty for anyone. And you don't want to allow for any unnecessary and difficult challenges to come into your life and mess with your stability and your sense of security. So you're very mindful as to who you allow into your space. Yeah, with past life mastery, this is about like lessons, life lessons. I feel like lessons that you have been learning for several lives, you have learned them. You have learned them in this lifetime. And that's why you're experiencing a major breakthrough in this lifetime. And that's why you're also experiencing a reprieve from all the challenges you have been experiencing for many lifetimes. Because now you've learned the lesson. And for a lot of you, it could be a lesson about sharing. It could be a lesson about being a hope to others, being an example to others. Because hope could also be about being a living example to others, or living by example. And I'm also seeing with harmony something about understanding that bringing harmony or keeping the peace is not about being complacent or only giving, giving. It's about finding a balance. We can keep the harmony while still maintaining boundaries. We can keep the harmony and the unity while being honest. Let me pull out a card now to see what is the energy that is replacing this energy that is leaving. So we have waxing crescent with set intentions, rebuilding hopes and wishes. I believe this one came up for group 2 in the energy that was leaving. Yeah, again, we have hopes. We have hopes and wishes here. Yeah, so I feel like you guys, like I said, for some of you guys, it is you who will be granting wishes or who will be bringing a new sense of hope and faith to others simply by you being you, simply by what it is that you're doing, by you sharing with others what you have gone through, how you have overcome things, dealt with things, what you have learned, and so forth. But I also feel like these hopes and wishes are referring to your hopes and wishes. I feel like a lot of the things that you thought were impossible in the past, you're seeing that they're very, very possible for you. Maybe a lot of like even childhood wishes are coming true for you or starting to come true for you. You're starting to see how they can be realized. I get the feeling with the King of Pentacles of someone who at some point when they were younger, when there weren't any limited beliefs or very little limited beliefs, they believed themselves that they could change the world or create a positive impact or help bring about a positive change. And then as they grew older, they maybe felt that these wishes of theirs were unrealistic or they were very childish, that they couldn't create such a positive impact. But now they're seeing that, yes, you know what? It is possible for them to make their dreams come true, that it is possible for them to create a positive impact, even in the life of one person. Yeah, so with rebuilding, this could be about you rebuilding your life, like you rebuilding your sense of self is what I'm getting as well. You rebuilding your belief systems as well as to what is possible and what is not. But I also feel like you will be helping others to rebuild their own lives, or be helping others to see that they can start over, that they can make their wishes come true. And with set intentions, I do see you setting new intentions. Because I feel like a lot of what you were aiming to achieve, you would have achieved it by this point. And so it's like, okay, I have done most of the things that I had on my bucket list, so now I'm going to create a new bucket list. Like now I'm going to think of new dreams. Now I'm going to have new goals to to pursue or to reach, because I have already achieved most of my goals. That's the feeling I'm getting here. And with the Ace of Pentacles being in reverse, it's like you're considering what your next milestone will be, like what your next pursuit will be, what your next achievement will be. Like you're considering it. Because now with this Hope card, it's like anything is possible. Like now you feel that anything is possible. Now that you have achieved this one thing, you realize that, hey, I can achieve many more things. With setting intentions, I feel like this could also be about manifesting. I feel like you guys are realizing that you are really good at manifesting, of materializing things, because Pentacles is all about the material world. So you're really good at bringing ideas into life, or just attracting things, pulling things from the void. So what's next for you could be manifesting new things. But honestly, because we do have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like a lot of you, what you will be doing next is actually manifesting things that you wanted in the past. Yeah, so it could be like childhood wishes of yours that you had. It's like things that you wanted or desired or longed for or dreamed about in the past, that at some point later on in your life you began to think that they were impossible or that they were too fantastical. Now in this phase of your life, you're looking back on that and rethinking, reconsidering whether it is truly impossible or not. And you're coming to this conclusion that, you know, maybe it is possible. And so you're now focusing on bringing those things to life, making them a reality for you. Yeah, so actually you are manifesting something new. You are focusing on something new, but it isn't new as in this is your first time thinking about it, because you have thought about it in the past. It's only new because it's quite recent right now. Like you're recently focusing on this thing. And I do see you making whatever this is happen for you. It's sort of this feeling with the Wish and the Void card of pulling the rabbit out of the hat. Like being the magician. There is this feeling of something being impossible, but then you make it possible. You make it happen. And it almost feels like out of thin air. So I also see what's next for you is that you're not lowering your standards, and possibly you're even raising your standards. Like there's certain non-negotiables, like you having non-negotiables and not compromising those for anything or for anyone. You recognizing your value, your worth. And I do see you having this air of confidence about you that isn't at all arrogant, because I don't see you looking down upon anything. Even the things that you're turning down, you're not looking down on them. You're just simply assessing that they aren't a match for you or what it is that you're working on. It's just that, like, you're not a match for each other. It's not that you're looking down on it or seeing it as less than. Because this King of Pentacles looks so wise to me. Seems like a creature that realizes the worth, the inherent worth and value in everything. And so they aren't someone to discriminate. They aren't someone to look down upon others or, you know, kind of get on their high horse. Them being a moose, that would be totally weird. But you get what I mean, right? I feel like there's a lot more to say, but nothing is coming to mind. Which is quite interesting. So now I'm just going to pull out an extra oracle card to see what it is that you can look forward to in this new beginning. Oh, that was fast. So 2 cards flipped over. And we have Sea Turtle with Slow Down, Be Patient, and Persistent. This is reminding me of like this determination energy. And we also have Spyglass with Zoom In and Take a Closer Look. Yeah, so with this Spyglass, it's about that discernment, you know, being selective. You're taking your time to take a closer look at things. You don't feel like you need to be in a rush. You know, you don't feel like you need to like grab onto an opportunity because you're going to lose it. There's no longer a fear of losing something, losing an opportunity. So I do see you taking your time. I do see in your immediate future you feeling at ease to take your time, at ease to be patient with things, at ease to take your time with something. That's the feeling you get with persistent. But I do want to read the guidebook messages associated with these cards. So we have Sea Turtle, Slow Down, Be Patient, and Persistent. The sea turtle moves slowly, gracefully, and can live up to 100 years. This makes the sea turtle a symbol of patience, wisdom, and longevity. The sea turtle is asking you to take a deep breath and slow your course. There is no reason to rush through projects, milestones, or responsibilities. Many of us were taught from a young age to believe that faster is better. However, this isn't necessarily true, especially when considering soul growth and development. Whatever it is you're doing, focus on the quality of your work and do it wholeheartedly. Even though this may slow you down in terms of time, you will prevail exceedingly. Yeah, so with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, this could be representing something that you're currently working on. You're taking your time with it. This could even be like a goal. You're taking your time to reach it. You don't feel in any rush to make things happen fast for you or for you to be somewhere right now. You have certain wishes, you have certain goals, you have certain dreams, and you're confident that you will achieve them. The feeling I get with the King of Pentacles is that they aren't lacking confidence. They're quite sure of themselves and what they're doing and what they're working on. And so they don't necessarily fear missing out on an opportunity because they know that what is meant for them will come along and will not pass them by. So for some, what's next is you working on something that you believe in, building it slowly and gradually. And it could be that some people might come offering you shortcuts, but you're refusing them because you see that taking these shortcuts will lower the quality of your work, or taking these shortcuts will result in you doing something that you're not really in alignment with, or will result in an outcome that you weren't really aiming for. And so instead of, choosing to take the fast route or choosing to cut corners, you're choosing to do things with integrity, with sincerity, with honesty. You're choosing to do things how you wanted to do them in the first place. It's like this feeling of staying true to you, or staying true to what it is that you're doing or aiming for. And then with Spyglass, we have zoom in, take a closer look. Spyglass is a small handheld telescope that you may recognize from numerous pirate films. Somewhere along the way, you have overlooked a crucial piece of information. Do you feel like something's off or something's missing? Maybe things just aren't adding up. The universe wants you to look through your spyglass, figuratively speaking, so that you can identify what's been lost. Deconstruct the situation, retrace your steps, and examine each detail. Not to worry, you will find clarity soon. But now I do want to pull out some homemade divination dice to get more info. Okay, so we have the quill, or the feather. We have the crystal ball, and we have the scissors. So scissors make me think of cutting away. So what came through in specific is like cutting connections. So some of you could be cutting certain connections or disconnecting from certain people. These could be people who create a lot of conflict, a lot of drama around in your life, or who aren't very cooperative, who maybe only seek to meet their own needs or gains. I don't know why, but things get so blurry with this group. It's like the messages get blurry in my mind. It's like I'm allowed to see for a minute, but then things become blurry so that I won't see everything in detail, which kind of reminds me of the spyglass. So there could be a confusing energy around you. Maybe this is a confusing energy that you're cutting out. Maybe someone is being confusing, someone isn't being very clear, and you caught on to them, like they're not being clear on purpose because there is something that they're hiding, and like instead of dealing with that energy, you're kind of like cutting away with it because you don't see any need to be involved in that kind of energy. And also it could be because you have been quite patient with this energy, with this situation, with this person, if it is a person, but they haven't shown much progress, or they haven't shown any intention of bringing about clarity or committing to something maybe. And because you see their lack of commitment or their lack of transparency, possibly, that's why you're choosing to cut away with it or disconnect from it or from this person entirely. Yeah, because this could also, rebuilding an Ace of Pentacles, what just came to mind is rebuilding a relationship. So this could be someone of your past who is offering quote-unquote commitment or an idea of commitment, or they're just promising things, but they're sort of coming through as empty promises because you're not seeing much action from them. And this is kind of the offer that you're wary about, that maybe you're considering, but at the end you're realizing it isn't a really good offer. It isn't a stable offer. And that could be the thing that you're saying no to, or the person that you're saying no to. Yeah, just be mindful of anything that is unclear. Like someone who kind of changes their mind or goes back and forth, or maybe like if a contract is presented to you and things are very unclear or ambiguous, or like they have double meaning, just be very careful with that. You know, take a closer look at things, get more clarity about things if things are unclear. And if clarity isn't given, then, you know, just be very mindful of anything that isn't wanting to be transparent, that isn't wanting to be clear. Because I feel like you allowing this into your life, or more of this into your life, will create more of what you are wanting to leave behind, which will be challenges, conflict, opposition, and so forth. So, yeah. And with the quill here, yeah, this is again reminding me of contracts, like signing something. Yeah, anything that is unclear, like a contract or an agreement that is unclear, confusing, sketchy, just be very mindful of it, okay? Don't say yes to anything that you're not sure about, no matter what other people might be telling you. Follow your instincts, your intuition, your own experience about things. I feel like you guys are well experienced. You know more than you think you know, or that you give yourself credit for at times. Trust in yourself when it comes to any decisions that you're making in your immediate future. And be patient. Nothing is going to pass you by. You're not missing on any great opportunity by you saying no to something that you feel isn't right for you. With the crystal ball, something that was predicted, it could be even something that you predicted yourself, will be coming to pass in your immediate future. It feels like something that you foretold, something that you foreshadowed, maybe even something that you prepared for. If you prepared for something, like for an event, for something that you intuitively sensed was going to come up, know that your preparation for it is going to pay off. So this crystal ball gives me this feeling of protection. Like your preparation will protect you, or will help you in some way. Also, you could be getting a personal reading, or someone could be predicting something for you in your immediate future that will prove to be very helpful to you. This could also be like advice or guidance. Yeah, and a lot of you could be doing automatic writing. So like if all of a sudden you feel inspired to start writing like random thoughts, yeah, that could be you actually channeling messages from your higher self, from spirit, or your future self is how it's coming through. I feel like your future self, which could be your higher self, gives you a lot of advice and guidance. You're very in tune with your higher self. And maybe that's why you sometimes foreshadow things or foresee things. Yeah, foresee things. Because that's actually your future self, your higher self giving you that information. Like, oh, beware of that person, or, you know, that opportunity is a good one, that opportunity is not such a good one, or, you know, this will be a good time to invest in that, and so forth. Your future self, your higher self has your back. Yeah, I do feel like a lot of you will be receiving a personal reading, you know, like a tarot reading, an intuitive reading that will be very eye-opening to you. And I do also see you cutting cords, like energy cords. And I feel like these cords are ones that you established a long, long way back. You'll be finally cutting them. It could be through like an intention, you know, you setting an intention to cut these cords, like doing a cord cutting ritual, for example. But it could also be like subconsciously, or it's just time. It's just time to release them. Like you will be released of these bonds. And I feel like it has something to do with like a work situation. Like someone that you worked with, someone that you collaborated with, someone that you worked under, someone that maybe was like a mentor, caretaker, or someone that you looked up to. You could have even had, a contract with them, a soul contract. Yeah, it could have been someone who, if you believe in soul contracts, this could have been someone who you agreed to come into this lifetime to like learn valuable lessons through them. And I say through them because I feel like this would be someone who created a lot of challenges for you, or opposition or conflict. And this would have been like tough lessons, like difficult lessons to learn. Yeah, I feel like you're done with that contract. Like you reached an end when it comes to it. So you don't have to really deal with this energy anymore. It's in the past now. And the last thing I'm seeing is that you're letting go of a lack mentality. And I mentioned lack mentality because what I was getting at is that even your soul, even your consciousness or your very being is no longer settling for less, or is releasing this idea that in order to learn valuable lessons, or in order to have stability or security in life, one needs to suffer, one needs to sacrifice. Or there could have been this belief of, in order for a journey to be of value, it needs to be tough, it needs to be difficult, there needs to be hardships and suffering. And I feel like now, after all the challenges you have gone through, after everything your soul has experienced, it's like you're letting go of this. You're no longer putting yourself in situations or signing soul contracts that require for you to go through very difficult, tough lessons, opposition, and challenges. Your soul has learned a valuable lesson when it comes to that kind of mindset or belief system. Or maybe it's you in the 3D used to have this belief that you had to suffer, you had to sacrifice in order for something to be worth it or valid. But now you're releasing that belief. You know, you can allow yourself to hope and dream big and make wishes and not have to go through something very difficult or traumatizing in order to have a wish fulfilled. Like, it doesn't have to be difficult. It's what I'm getting at. Like, things can be, I wouldn't say easy, but they can be more enjoyable, more pleasant than not. Because looking at the wish card, what just came through was like, having a wish, having a dream shouldn't be scary. It shouldn't be a scary thing. It should be something that you enjoy, something that you look forward to, something that delights you in your soul. And so I feel like that's more of the energy you're stepping into. I hope that makes sense. And went along with the rest of the reading, because I did have to pause the reading and resume at a later time. So I hope things flowed well. Yeah, but these are all the messages I am getting for this group thus far. In terms to time predictions, I will say with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, something will be happening or coming through for you a lot sooner than expected. Because the Ace of Pentacles is making me think of 1 month in 1 month's time. So maybe you were expecting for something to come through, to manifest. For others of you, it could be a year. Maybe you were expecting for something to come into completion within a year's time. Or that's what you were told, maybe, that you needed to wait a year for something. But it's actually coming through for you sooner than that. A lot sooner than that. Oh, and just right now, looking at the scissors, it made me think of inauguration ceremony where they cut the ribbon. Yeah, so some of you could be starting a business pretty soon, or for some it could even be like a second business or like a second store if you do have a physical store or shop. It could even be like an online. For those of you who have like a YouTube channel, this could be like starting your second YouTube channel or a second social media account. But for others of you, this could be like your first business venture, your first big project that you're starting pretty soon, that you're revealing to a public, to an audience. Yeah, but I definitely feel for this group, you will have multiple businesses or multiple sources of income. For some, it will be like passive income. Yeah, or it could be that something that you start, like a business, will expand, will grow into something bigger. But I definitely do feel for this group, you will be starting something of your own or doing something of your own. Whether it be like a side job, a side hustle, or your main job, but it will be yours. It will be something that you created from scratch, something that you started. And like I said, this will grow into something bigger, or this will give way to various other projects and or business ventures that you will be working on and overseeing in the future. Yeah, but remember, with the sea, slow and steady wins the race. Be patient. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to make it happen all at once. It will all unfold organically and naturally for you as long as you keep committing to your dreams, to your vision, and what it is that you want. I know we're looking into your immediate future, but with the crystal ball here, there is a message for the long-term future, know that there's still more to come. You will be doing and creating so much more in the later future. Okay, but these are all the messages I am seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, since that is a simple way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And I also want to give thanks to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. But this is all for now. I am wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this video. And until the next moment, bye bye.